Kamara defends Zubats. Tries to back him down. Slift puts it up. No, well defended. Denny with the rebound. 3-on-2 in transition. Throws it ahead to Sharp with the lob, and he puts it in. What an amazing pass from Denny Avdia. And Shaden Sharp gets the dunk to go. Timeout Clippers.
Oh, there's one highlight from the game that was just a little over 24 hours ago. The low light, though, was that the Blazers couldn't hold on. They lost to the Clippers 114-107. Welcome in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation with us, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and get in on the conversation there as well. 3 games in, game 4 going down tonight, the second of a back-to-back in the city of Los Angeles. Wish I was down there right now with my my family and my kiddos. I'd be at Disneyland because it's my daughter's 8th birthday. So shout out to Brooklyn. Happy birthday. I told you I'd tell you happy birthday on the radio today. I owe you one. Happy birthday, kiddo. So hopefully the perfect birthday present is a Trailblazers victory. Right? I could come home tonight and say, we did it. You got your wish. The Trailblazers won. And tonight, I think things are going to hopefully work in the Blazers' favor. No LeBron James, no Luka Doncic. Of course, the Lakers do have Austin Reeves, who has been all right, to say the least. DeAndre Ayton, who Blazer fans are very familiar with. But you would hope that the Blazers can put it all together, grab a win in Los Angeles, improve to 1-1 on this road trip, 2-2 on the season before they head to Utah to wrap up this first 3-game road trip of the year. But before we talk about the Lakers and what tonight holds, let's rewind it a little bit to what happened last night in Los Angeles, just playing against the other team. It was a good defensive game from Portland. I thought all things considered, they played all right on that end. But the Clippers were just hitting shots. The Clippers had a 34-23 lead after the first quarter. But in the second quarter, the Blazers absolutely turned it on. They outscored the Clippers 37-21 in the second quarter, which was absolutely massive. It was one of those situations where you're like, yeah, I like this. The defense is looking good. The offense is looking good. Yeah, I can accept this. I can deal with this. But then it just wasn't meant to be. It didn't last the rest of the way. The slim 60-55 lead that they have at halftime did not hold. At halftime, the Blazers had just 22 points in the paint to 34 from the Clippers. The biggest lead for Portland was 12. The biggest lead for the Clippers was 11. So there was a big swing there. But the second half, again, that the Clippers just flipped the switch a little bit. James Harden couldn't be stopped. Kawhi Leonard was making his shots. Their auxiliary players were doing what they needed to do. And we'll hear from Coach Splitter in a little bit. It wasn't necessarily like it was bad defense. Clippers were just hitting shots. Sometimes you do everything you can and you just watch the ball still hit nothing but net. Taking a look at the Clippers side of the box score, Kawhi Leonard led all scorers with 30 points. He also had 10 rebounds and 4 assists for the Clippers. Derrick Jones Jr. had 4 points, 21 points from Ivica Zubac, 20 points from James Harden, including hitting 2 3-pointers, 16 points from John Collins off of the Clippers bench. On the Trailblazers side of things, Toumani Camara, definitely an off night for him. He had just 5 points, 2 of 8 shooting. He had 2 rebounds and 4 assists. Not the typical Toumani Camara game. You would hope that he can rebound tonight. Not just like literally as in getting rebounds, but rebound the entire game. Get the points out there, get the assists, get the steals, do the things that you are expecting Toumani Camara to do. I think early in this year, he's kind of shown that he can go out there and score. And in that starting lineup, he's, probably your third scorer. So when he goes out and has nights where he just drops 5, that's bad. You want a bad night for Toumani. Like, oh man, Toumani only had 11 points tonight. That would be a little bit nicer than dropping 5. As for the rest of the lineup, Denny Avdia had 23.7 rebounds, 5 assists, also did have 5 turnovers. He needs to continue to work on getting that number down. Glad he played in the second half after appearing to bang knees on the final play of the first half. 9 points for Donovan Clingan to go along with 10 rebounds. Drew Holiday, 21.6 rebounds, 7 assists. Another very, very solid game from him. And then Shaden Sharp rounding out the starters. He had 19 points, but a tough shooting night. He was just 7 of 24. Jeremy Grant, another solid game off the Trailblazers bench with 17 points on 4 of 10 shooting. So lots to like. Thought the defense was good. Offensively, that's going to be the bugaboo right now. Our Trailblazers insider Sean Hyken, wrote a story about it over there at the Rose Garden Report that basically I think this Blazer season, especially early on, is going to be defined by how good or bad their offense is any given night. They are 2 poor offensive outings away from being 3-0. If they could have hit shots against the Timberwolves, very likely could have won that game. They obviously had a chance had they stopped Anthony Edwards from making a shot late. But if they didn't sputter in that fourth quarter, they could have won that game. And on that night, Minnesota shot 48%, while Portland shot 40%. And then against the Golden State Warriors, offense clicked. The Blazers shot 53%. The Warriors shot 43%. And then, of course, last night, it was pretty bad. The Blazers shot a season low through 3 games, 37%, while the Clippers shot 55%. And the defense is still there. Like, I know the numbers, you look at that and you're like, okay, well, all those teams are shooting above 40, and all we're doing is talking about how good the defense is. The defense is making these teams work, and it's only going to get better. I would expect you start to see games where that shooting percentage is not anywhere near that 55% that you saw the Clippers do. And I also think you look at why the offensive numbers are down a little bit. This team is playing their tail ends off on the defensive side. And it's not just Toumani Camara who's doing it now. It's all 5. And that's going to exhaust you on the offensive end. And you're just coming to terms with that, figuring out how to play, figuring out how to balance. I also think with Shaden Sharp, you've been plugged into a situation where you're the go-to. You are asked to be the number 1 scorer. In that game last night, he did. He had the lion's share of the shots. He took 24 shots. The next most shots attempts on the team was 16 from Denny Avdia. And I like that. You just need to hit more. I mean, he'll hit them. He's finding the shots. He's getting good looks. It's just a matter of making them fall. And he'll get there. It's no different to me than Denny Avdia having a slow start to the season last year. And then finally, freeing up and coach just giving him the keys. And boom, he turned into a completely different player for the last 75% of the season. I think Shaden Sharp's going to be just fine. Also, Donovan Clingan, as Chad alluded to earlier, some fans a little worried. How come he's not playing more? He only played 24 minutes in this one, the only starter to play less than 30. Well, it's twofold. Part of that is Jeremy Grant did play 29 off the bench, and you're going to look at me and go, well, Chris, he's a forward, and Donovan Clingan's a center. It's because the Blazers have been relying a lot on their small ball lineups. They're running lineups out there with Blake Wesley, Chris Murray, Jeremy Grant, Denny Avdia, and Matisse Thybulle. So you're going small ball where Jeremy is your small ball center or Denny is your small ball center. I have no worry with Donovan Clingan. I think if they needed Donovan Clingan to play 30 minutes a night, he'd be just fine right now. It's just a matter of just ramping up and getting to that spot where you need him to play those minutes. The small ball is what they're trying to figure out how that works in the long run. And when the team is struggling offensively, as they have 2 out of these 3 games already, Donovan Clingan is not the answer to that. Donovan Clingan is not great offensively. So you got to take him out and go that small ball lineup that gives you more scores on the floor, like Jeremy and Denny at the same time. But I do believe the offensive side of things it's going to come around eventually. But defense is going to be the calling card of this team for the foreseeable future. And I got to point out that even though the Clippers did shoot well and even though they won, I mean, they shot 55%, but they only won by 7. And the Blazers are pushing tempo. Notice in the fact that the Blazers had 92 shot attempts to the Clippers 80, 12 more shot attempts. But the Clippers were efficient. They took 12 fewer shots, but they made 10 more. Efficiency matters. But the defense is still making these teams work their tails off. After game 1, Anthony Edwards said it. how this team's going to pick you up 95 feet. They're going to make you work. There's no more going to Portland and getting an easy win. Coach Kerr talked about it after the game against Golden State Warriors. This game's not about how bad we played. It's not about a back-to-back. It's about that Blazers team. They earned that. Their length, their athleticism, the way they play, that's a good team. And then last night, NBA legend, future Hall of Famer, James Harden, who doesn't tend to hand out compliments too much. Maybe he's getting a little softer and nicer at his old NBA age. But he was asked about the Blazers, and here is what he had to say.
They play extremely hard, for the entire game. They pick you up full court. They try to, cause turnovers, and offensively they crash the glass, and they just try to disrupt the game, and they're very, very aggressive. So they've been playing that way, thus far this season. So we watched film on them. We expected that, but it's a good team over there.
That's a good team over there. They're aggressive. They crash the glass. They push the tempo. They play hard. 3 games in, 3 people talking about how the Blazers are making everything tough on them. So that's a good thing. We can talk about, how come Shaedon didn't hit these shots? How come Donovan didn't play this many minutes? How come this? How come that? But the people that they're playing against are praising this team. And to me, that is a sign that things are going to get better. Like, they're going to continue to play this way, and that's going to lead the wins, and then the offense will find its way. There's a lot to like about the way this team plays. Would you have liked it to beat the Clippers? Of course you would have liked them to beat the Clippers. But you still got a chance to go grab one in Los Angeles tonight against the team you would like to beat anyway, and then improve to 500 on the season. Anyway, before we go to break, update from Los Angeles. Teoscar Hernandez just hit a solo bomb in the bottom of the second. The Dodgers now have the 1-0 lead in Game 3 of the World Series, tied 1-1 with the Toronto Raptors. Tonight, Blazers, Lakers, all going to happen right here on Rip City Radio. Plenty of content. We got you covered every single game, just so you know. 2 hours before tip, you got Blazers Game Day with myself, followed by the Trailblazers pregame show with Chad Doing. Travis Demers on the call, the 5th quarter after it, all right here on your home of the Blazers. Rip City Radio, 620. You know, Michael Shacker didn't do it on purpose, but I mentioned earlier that it's my daughter's birthday, and both of my children right now, their favorite band is Linkin Park. So well done with the intro music. Well done. Linkin Park is also, melts my heart that I'm getting my children into Linkin Park. Like my oldest was writing down a get to know me thing. Like she's getting really handy with the PowerPoint presentations. And she's like, Dad, I made this thing that was like get to know me. It's a slideshow. And yeah, her favorite band, Linkin Park. I'm like, oh, middle school me loves that. So thanks. Well done, Michael Shacker. Welcome back in to Blazers Game Day, back on track here. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation, Chris J. Burkhardt is the name on social. Of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there as well. Where everyone says they miss me. I don't know why you miss me. I'm right here. Let's have some fun. Let's talk a little basketball. Blazers tonight in LA to take on them. Just them. Do we even refer to them as what they are? There's no love lost here between that team and the Portland Trail Blazers, but the Blazers do have a chance to pick up a game on the road here, a very important one before going to Utah to wrap up this road trip. And tonight, that team will be without LeBron James and Luka Doncic. So how are they going to attack you? What should the Blazers expect against Los Angeles? It's going to be interesting. A heavy dose of DeAndre Ayton, something the Blazer fans have seen quite a bit over the years. It was just wearing a Blazers uniform for better or for worse. And as I told Chad doing a little bit earlier, is one thing the Blazers need to do in this game: get out, get in space, make the Lakers play defense, because you saw it firsthand with DeAndre Ayton when he was a Blazer. Not always the most happy to get back. A lot of times your defense was going, a man down. 4-on-5, odds not in your favor. So make them work. Make them work. You look at what they did against the Kings in their last game, a 127-120 victory. Rui Hachimura had 18 points. DeAndre Ayton did have a good game, 22 and 15. 11 points from Marcus Smart. Gabe Vincent had 3. Austin Reeves, though, 12 of 22 from the floor, 6 of 10 from beyond the arc, 21 of 22 from the free throw line, 51 points in total, a career high there. That's pretty incredible to go out there and do that. They got that win. No Luka, no LeBron. That's impressive. That's impressive. So if you're the Blazers, you got to make sure you get out there, get in Austin Reeves defensively, and then DeAndre Ayton. Don't let him get a 22-point, 15-rebound double-double. Donovan Kling and Young Hansen might be your time to do some dirty work on the glass. But now, before we dive fully into that game, I do want to hear from Coach Tiago Splitter. I thought he had some good things to say after that loss last night. And he continues to just hammer home that this is the Blazer team that you can expect. This team is going to compete every single night. Defense, their identity, all that. And I love that. I think this team's going to be very, very good. I still have them as like a 40-42 team, and that is an improvement. That is all things going in the right direction. I mean, the fact that you can sit here and go, man, they are 2 bad, quarters away basically from being 3-0 is pretty wild. But let's go to the coach's corner and hear what Coach had to say.
Defensively, how would you describe what you saw from your guys, and especially in that second quarter?
Yeah, I mean, just the intensity. I think Blake Wesley brought some, the pressure in their ball handlers and changed the whole game for us. We started a little bit slow the game in that regard, and we got better throughout the game, and then I think in the end of the day, they are a very talented team, and they just made more shots than us.
Thiago, the shot making, problem tonight was a problem at the end of the Minnesota game. Is that how is that something you guys are going to be able to figure out down the line?
Yeah, I mean, just keep giving them confidence. You gotta shoot better, and we will. I think in general, we're shooting, worse than we are capable to do it.
Describe their defense. It seemed like they kind
I don't think so. I think we kept playing our game. They were slow offensively, moving the ball and trying to get, good shots for their guys. And it's really hard to help from the stars. James Harden got the ball, but they have 4 shooters around him, and then Kawhi Leonard, same thing. They got 4 shooters, so it's really hard to help much. And then Kawhi and James just made shots over our guys. Sometimes that's what's going on, right?
Coach, Shay's had a really tough time with his jumper so far. What are you seeing out of him, and what's kind of your message?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta, knock it off a little bit because he had a great summer. I mean, he made a lot of shots in our gym during practices. I know he's capable. This is not him, so I'm not too worried.
Tiago, what's enabled the group to be resilient through just the turn of events this week, but also some pretty tough competition to open the season?
Yeah, I mean, I promise you guys, this is what we're going to do every night. We're going to compete. And, they compete tonight for sure.
You look at the schedule coming up, there's no favors coming up. Despite everything you've been for, just the path ahead, how do you kind of, navigate?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. You got to go one by one, right? Like, got Lakers tomorrow. We got to fill our tanks here and get ready to play another tough game. The good thing we're not traveling, so staying here and play another game tomorrow.
And there you hear from Coach Tiago Splitter. And as he mentioned, it's, maybe just lay off Shea a little bit. He'll be fine. He's going to get those shots to fall. He'll be okay. And I believe that. It's just a little bit of a little lull to start the year. I think he's figuring out a new role, playing a little bit better defensively. We'll watch that one closely tonight because I know there's still people who don't like what he's doing on the defensive side. He's not a world beater on that end. Do not get me wrong. Effort's what matters. And he's trying. He is trying on that end. We have seen worse, so I'm not going to be too upset. But they do need him to be just an offensive juggernaut in the long run. So I would hope that he can continue to build on that. And then as you heard Coach say, this is who we are. I promise you that. We're going to compete every single night. I'm down with that because the 3 games have been fun. They have been fun. You didn't get, knock on wood, right? You didn't get the 50-point blowout in the first game or the second game, third game. It wasn't the first week where you're like, whoa, it's going to be a long year. We have nothing. No, you're playing good basketball. And if you're playing good basketball, fortunes will eventually flip in your favor. If you want to join the conversation, youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio. That's one way to do it, where Sean asks, who scores more tonight? Ayton revenge game against Klingon or Reeves against Drew and Thibault? If I'm picking who scores more, oh boy. That's a very good question. Very good question. Of those two, I'd probably lean Reeves just because he's a go-to scorer when you need him to, and he can get that shot going. He obviously proved in that game against Sacramento that he can get to the line, live at the line, and get easy points there. I mean, he had more points at the free throw line than DeAndre Ayton had total. You're either getting one of 2 performances from DA. You're getting another 22 and 15 game, or you're getting 10 points and 7 rebounds. I hope Donovan Klingon is ready to get dirty down low and make sure it's one of those ugly DA games. That would be just a little chef's kiss, if you will, for DC. And DA is going to be like, I was your starting center, and you got this guy, and then you bump me out. And this guy you trust, that guy, him? Yeah, DC has a chance to look at him and go, yeah, him. I am him. Be great for DC to have a career game tonight. Chris Burkhardt here with you. This is Blazers Game Day. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, going to take a little deeper look at that Laker team. How do they look without Luka and LeBron? I don't think that's where they expect it to be, but they're still 2-1 right now. It's a good team. The roster may not look like it at first, but they got a smart coach in JJ Redick, and they find ways to win. So hopefully the Blazers are ready for that action. This is Blazers Game Day on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. You all should love Z100, one of the best stations in the iHeart cluster. It's phenomenal. Grew up listening to that. Who else grew up just rocking all those radio stations back in the day? Z100. Remember when they used to send out you could buy the CDs? They had like the special Z100 packs. Oh my gosh, I still have those. They gotta be collector items. I should bring them in and take a picture of them in the office one day. It's a good intro song. I like that. That was fun. Now, Blazers tonight taking on the Los Angeles Lakers, who are off to a 2-1 start. Now, they don't have Luka. He has a sprained finger and like a thigh contusion. He'll be reevaluated in a week. And let me tell you this, people who are dogging him, oh, you don't want to play with a sprained finger. I sprained ligaments in my pinky finger a couple of years ago, and it was such a weird injury because my hands would feel normal throughout the day. But like if you did anything where you moved really fast with the way the tendon was all messed up, you just didn't have the strength to keep your finger in place. And so your finger would move and it would put all the pressure on the tendon, and the pain would send you through the roof. So I can kind of understand why he's out. Plus, I'm going to be in favor of him being out against Portland. Why not? But this is a big game for the Blazers because over the last few years, we have talked about this many times. Oh, here come the Grizzlies. No Ja Morant. They don't have their star. They beat you. Oh, here comes Team X. They don't have their best player. They beat you. Well, this team doesn't have their two best players. It didn't stop them from getting a win in Sacramento. Well, don't be Sacramento. Get out there defensively. Make this team work. Now, they still are going to find ways to get you. Austin Reeves being one. Now, granted, it's buoyed by that massive 1-point game against the Kings, but he's averaging 34 points, 7 rebounds, and 9.7 assists. He's tearing it up. He's absolutely tearing it up. So be ready for him. And then DeAndre Ayton, who had a slow start to the year. Game 1 wasn't very good for him, but he's bounced back a little bit. He's averaging 15 and 10. So you still got a couple guys in there that can go get theirs. Be ready for that. Outside of that, you still have a guy in Marcus Smart who can still give it to you defensively. You have Rui Hachimura, who's putting in 16 points a game. Jared Vanderbilt, who was on the Blazers' radar for a little bit after he left Utah. He's only averaging 4 points and 5 boards, but he's making the most of his minutes. So they still got guys that are good. Like look at that roster, and it's easy to say, oh, they're not the best roster, but they still got guys who are good rotation NBA players. Vanderbilt's one. Dalton Connect. They're in the starting lineup right now, but Gabe Vincent, Marcus Smart. Maybe we'll see Bronny James. Who knows? But really, you go into this game and you got two guys that are going to be able to really put it on you, and that's DA and Austin Reeves. So you got to find a way to stop those two to get in the best position to get a victory tonight. Now, if you would have told Laker fans that they wouldn't have LeBron, they wouldn't have Luka, they'd be 2-1. They would have went and got a win against the Kings and be looking at a 3-1 start if they win tonight. Most people wouldn't believe you. Most Laker fans wouldn't. The Laker fans they're different. They're different. So are the Lakers. So is playing at Staples Center. So you got a lot working against you. But if you're the Blazers, just come out and do what you've been doing for the last 3 games. Don't change. There's no need to. This is your identity. Bring it. I think this is the type of game that Portland can go out and make a statement. Absolutely make a statement that this may have been the games in past years that we would drop, but not this time around. You look up and down that lineup. You got, Blazers. The starting lineup, Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, Rui Hachimura. Personally, I think the Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe, Tumani Kamara, Denny Avdia, Donovan Clingan lineup is a better starting lineup than that. Jeremy Grant off the bench. I'll take that. So I think things are in the Blazers' favor in this one. It's just a matter of getting out there and playing the game of basketball. Just do what you've been doing. The defense has been so good. So good. Maybe this is the day where these good teams finally don't make shots. Oh, Chris, you say the defense has been good, but the teams are still shooting a high percentage. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, really good shooter, couldn't be stopped. Steph Curry, really good shooter, couldn't be stopped. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, really good shooters. They all had great nights. I don't know if that was a product of bad Blazer defense, because I think the defense was good. It's just a matter of figuring it all out. The team needs to find a way to score. Defense, fine. Find a way to score. What can Jeremy Grant do off the bench again? Can he have another solid game? Because he's been good. If he grabs this sixth-man role and just fills it all year long, like this is, I would love to get to the end of the year and have Jeremy Grant be in contention for sixth man of the year. Through 3 games, he's looked it. He has looked the part. My biggest thing with Jeremy, and you all know it, is just find your role and play it and own it. You don't need to be the number 1. You don't need to be the number 2. Just be Jeremy Grant, sixth man. And with the second unit, you get to be their go-to scoring option. You're still going to get your shots off. Everything comes up Millhouse, if you get that reference. So, yeah, I like the way the team's playing. I like the matchup against the Lakers tonight. And quite frankly, I fully believe they go get this win. They should. Don't mess it up. I think in past years, the team would have found ways to mess it up. Not tonight, my friend. Not tonight. And after that, after tonight, the road, it gets so much easier. Does it not? Oh, yeah, that's right. It doesn't. It doesn't. The Blazers have a gauntlet out of the gate, my friends. After tonight's game, they go to Utah on Wednesday. Then they come back home to face Denver and the Lakers again, who, by the way, will likely be out without LeBron James and may still be without Luka Doncic at that time as well. And then Oklahoma City, and then a 5-game trip, Miami, Orlando, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas. Get to see Cooper Flagg for the first time. Back home, Phoenix and Chicago. Couple wins in there. Phoenix is a beatable team. Chicago's a beatable team. Miami, Orlando. Then you go back on the road. A 3-game trip. Golden State, Oklahoma, Milwaukee. Then you get to see Wemby, and then you get to see Oklahoma City again for the 3rd time this year on November 30th. And then it's December. So the road doesn't get any easier for your Blazers. You have to take advantage of a game like this. As Sean said in the YouTube chat, hopefully the Blazers run circles around the Lakers. Can you run triangles around them? Like, in honor of, Phil Jackson and the triangle offense? No, circles work for me. Oh, man. Tall Tim says you got to make your 3 throws. Yes. You got to shoot well, just in general. You can't have off nights. Again, that game last night against the Clippers was a decent shooting game away from winning. All they needed was a decent night. They had a bad one. 11 of 41 from beyond the arc is not going to cut it. 1 of 9 from Shaedon Sharpe, who I would love to just go have a bounce back game, even if it's something like 25 points, but you are just shooting 70% from the floor. Oh yeah, he was 7 of 10. Sweet, awesome. Show me that efficiency. I like the aggression against the Clippers. He didn't back down from getting blocked by Brook Lopez, but now just take that aggressiveness, do it with a little bit more authority and just a little bit more pizzazz, if you will. Own everything, man. Play like the best player in the gym, because you very well might be. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, it's time for our keys to the game. We've hinted at it a little bit, but what do the Blazers need to do to get a victory over the Los Angeles Lakers? And then we'll kick it over to Chad Doing, who's waiting at Studio C right now for the Trailblazers pregame show, all right here on your home of the Trailblazers, Rip City Radio 620. Time now for our keys to the game. What do the Trailblazers need to do to get a victory over the Los Angeles Lakers tonight? Well, this one simply out of the gate with Drew and Tumani and Denny and Matisse, if he ends up playing, pressure, pressure, pressure on Austin Reeves. Make him uncomfortable. Get into his bubble. Go chest to chest with him. Get the ball out of his hands. Make him work. He is the go-to scorer for the Lakers right now with no Luka and no LeBron. He's having a great start to the season, but pressure the hell out of him. You make him uncomfortable. You make that offense sputter. Secondly, you need Donovan Clingan and the short minutes you might have from Young Hansen tonight. And then when you go small, you need to do the exact same thing to DA. DA doesn't like that. You know he's going to try to hit those little mid-ranges. You know he's going to get a few dunks here, but he can be pushed around. So push him around. Make him work. Make him uncomfortable. Donovan, you're bigger than DeAndre Ayton. Show it. You make those two guys have off nights, the rest of that team shouldn't beat you. So those are two keys. Another key for me is keep those turnovers numbers down. Denny's been great this year, but the turnover numbers are always a little too high for my liking. Keep that number down. Be cautious and be thorough with the passes that you do make. Make sure that you are taking care of the basketball and not giving the Lakers a chance to score easy buckets. And on the flip side of that, if you're Portland, do one thing that coach has talked about you needing to do, and that is turn up the pressure, get those offensive rebounds and push tempo, because especially with a guy like DA, you can take advantage and you can have some mismatches when you're going back down the floor. You could have a 4-on-3 because he didn't get back. You saw it firsthand here in Portland, folks. So take advantage of what you know. All right, Blazers will get underway here in about an hour and 10 minutes. Plenty of action going on around the league right now, though. So let's get you some score updates. Right now, 8.5 left in the fourth quarter. Cleveland has a 104-73 lead over the Pistons. Donovan Mitchell leading the way with 31 points. In Philadelphia, the Magic trail the 76ers 115-113 with just under 6 minutes left. Paulo Banchero, 28 points, 7 rebounds for the Magic. Tyrese Maxey with 33 and 7 for the 76ers. At halftime, the Hawks have a 1-point lead, 58-57 over the Bulls. 16 points for Kristaps Porzingis. At halftime, the Nets trail the Rockets 71-60. Michael Porter Jr., 14 points for the Nets. At halftime, the Celtics 65, the Pelicans 54. Jordan Poole has 12 points. And at halftime, Wemby only has 10 points and 8 rebounds. What's going on? But his team leads by 19, 69-50 over the Raptors. Also going on right now. Midway through the second quarter, Mavericks 34, Thunder 38. Anthony Davis with 10 and 6. And the only other game being played right now, Utah and Phoenix, which is just underway. Utah with a quick 16-2 lead. Lauri Markkanen with 5 points. Big night around the league. Everyone playing. Nuggets, Timberwolves tipping off here shortly. And you also have Memphis and the Warriors. Final game of the night, Portland and the Lakers. Isn't it fun to have basketball on the West Coast? But again, we've done some joking. We've played around. But seriously, defense has been good. Offense needs to be better. Plain and simple. 3 games in, that's what I'm taking away from this team. I think this is a defense that is good enough to put you in position to win a lot of games. But I say good enough to put you in position because I don't think it's good enough to win you games on its own. Because the offense has got to show up at some point too. If you would have just hit a few more shots, you beat Minnesota. If you would have not shot 27% from three-point range, you would have beat the Clippers. Now, in that game against Golden State, the offense was running. The offense worked. And you were out to a big lead. You were leading by 20 points most of that game. So it's key. It's absolutely key that you find ways to score that basketball. So it's pivotal. I really hope that tonight is the night that Shaden Sharp lets it click a little bit, because Blazer fans are starting to get a little hot around the collar, right? A little panicky. Okay, he hasn't done anything to instill confidence in me. I'm in the camp of that. I like what he does defensively. Just need him to be offensively. You just need him to bring it. You just need him to bring it. Get out of your slump. Get out of your slump. Speaking of getting out of your slump, Dodgers had a 2-0 lead until a 3-run shot by the Blue Jays. Toronto takes a 3-2 lead in the top of the fourth inning, Game 3 of the World Series. I was telling Chad, this Blue Jays team, who I keep almost calling the Raptors because I'm a basketball mind, you leave a hanger out across the top of the plate, they're going to find a way to hit it, and they're going to put good wood on it. There's a single right there, runner from first to third, one out, runner in scoring position. The World Series is awesome. Oh, oof. This is was it this weekend? We hit the equinox, got a little hockey, a little NFL, college football, MLB still going on. It's a good time to be a sports fan. October's awesome. October's absolutely awesome. College football, NFL, MLB wrapping up, everything all going on at once. And in this city, you're about to be a 365 basketball town when the WNBA kicks off. Heck yeah. Nothing like a hoop dream right there. Just an absolute hoop dream. Oh. But I told you guys the other day, if you go to LA and you play 2 games and you lose one, you want to lose it to the Clippers. You don't want to come home with a loss to the Lakers. Take care of business tonight. Take care of business in Staples Center. So we get here on the 5th quarter and everyone is telling you it's always a good day to beat LA. There's just something about it. No other team gets you just typing beat LA in the chat. Just means more. Just means more. Before the music hits and I get out of here though, one more time. Happy birthday, Brooklyn. I'm so excited. My middle child turned 8 today. 8 years old. Cherish it, man. They grow up so quick. But I did tell her, we're going to try to get a Blazer victory for you tonight because I think it'd be a pretty good birthday present. Win one for the cookie. That's her nickname. Because her sister couldn't say Brooklyn, and it always came out Cookie. So that's her nickname. That's why I wore the, I stand with Cookie t-shirt. All right. Music means it's time to go, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, Chad Doing has your Trailblazers pregame show across the Trailblazers audio network. Tip-off at 7:30. Travis Demers on the call down there in Los Angeles. And then after the game, it's the 5th quarter where hopefully we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. And it's all available right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.